mic?
Yeah. The mic. I'll put it up on my phone a second. Tune in my damn self. I figure since this is history class, I feel it's fitting to start at the beginning.
Something's wrong with Spider-Man's leg.
Something's wrong with Spider-Man's leg.
Wait, you can no. You can turn his feet around like this. You turn it
I
backwards.
think the the camera's a little crooked.
Yeah, it's real weird. I gotta try to get it right now. Yeah, it look like it might have got turned like somebody might have come to a movie.
But
Let's sit down, let's
okay.
Alright, I'll tell you what, let me do this. See, oh shit, from right there. Whoops.
Turned the wrong way. I said I had turned it the wrong way. Yeah,
But
Let's see.
Not like that. Oh no.
It just look like it need to be kind of twisted.
We got two cameras?
Not just one.
It's like two different views.
I'm not necessarily sure why it's like that right now.
I think it might. I don't know.
I'll tell you what, you go ahead and start class. I'll just make some adjustments. You live.
Alright. Shalom. With the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. And what we teach is that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel according to the Bible. You understand? If you're not in the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana, then you are not in the truth. You understand? And, that goes for anybody, whether you're in the Christian church, if you're in a so-called Israelite group, if you're in the Nation of Islam, if you're a Buddhist, Hindu, you understand? If you are not in the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana, then you're not in the truth. You understand? Why do I say that? Because nowhere else in the world are you going to gain a proper understanding of what the Bible is talking about. Nowhere in the world. You understand? Not the Christian church. You understand? Not the Seventh-day Adventists. You understand? If it's not in the ISUPK, you're not going to learn the Bible properly. You understand? And today, what we're going to get into today is our history class. And what we're going to get into today, being that this is our first history class, it's only fitting that we start at the beginning. You understand? We're going to start at Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. We're going to start at the beginning in ancient history. You understand? This is history that you're not going to learn in social studies class. You understand? This is history that you're not going to learn in science and biology class. This is history that you're only going to learn in the ISUPK. You understand? You're not going to learn it in the Christian church. We're reading from the Bible. Just because they read from the Bible doesn't mean that they are authorized to teach you the Bible properly. You understand? All right. And Salaki Adawan, if I could, if you could read start at Genesis chapter 1, verse 1 for me, Baba Kasha.
Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth.
In the what?
And the earth.
You said in the beginning?
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth.
You understand? So this is the beginning of all things. You understand? This is the beginning of all things. You know, science like to say the beginning of all things is the Big Bang theory. You understand? They like to say that, and if you look at the Big Bang theory, in theory, you understand, everything was created out of nothing. You understand? But here's the problem. You understand? Science will even tell you that you can't. Matter is neither created nor destroyed. However, in this particular point in history, all things came to be from nothing, which means that they were created. In order to be created, you have to have what? You have to have a creator.
That's right.
You understand? So, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now, let's break that down where it says God, because that's another confusion that is blasted all throughout the world. That when it says in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. In the Hebrew, when you read that word, it reads the word Elohim. Or, you know, if you're not privy to the ancient Hebrew, Elohim. You know, however you want to pronounce it. That's the word that is written there in Hebrew. And of course, in the ISUPK, because we understand the ancient Hebrew, we know that the word Elohim or Elohim means power, the powers or authorities. You understand? So it's not just the Most High that created the heavens and the earth. Even though the Most High is the one who ultimately gets the credit, because he's the one that gave the order to create the heavens and the earth. You understand? But it's the Most High and all of his angels. Those are the powers that created the heavens and the earth. You understand? Read on. So like, yeah.
No sweat. Verse 2. And the earth was without form.
It was what?
Without form.
What does that mean? To be with, if the earth was without form, what does that mean? Now, Desire, you want to give it a try? What does it mean when it says the earth was without form?
The earth.
Go ahead, give it a shot.
The earth.
He said, yeah, the earth. It said, the Bible says the earth was without form. So what does it mean when it says the earth was without form?
Things that came behind them.
Okay, you know what it means for something to be formed.
Yeah.
How can I put this? You play with Lego blocks.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you know how they have those Lego kits where you can put it together and it'll be a Batmobile when you finish.
Yeah. And
Well,
they can build Batman and Spider-Man.
right. So you have to put together the Batmobile, correct?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the Batman.
Right, and the Batman. You have to put together all the Lego blocks. So when you buy the Lego in the box, it has everything, all the components needed to create the Batmobile.
There you go.
However, the Batmobile is without form. You get it?
Yeah.
All right. So what it's saying is, so imagine the Earth as one big Lego Batmobile, and the Earth, the Legos are without form because no one put the Legos together. So all the Legos are there. Batmobile. So that's what it means when it says the Earth was without form. It hadn't came together yet. You understand? Read on.
Give me 1 second now, because it's not. Hold on 1 second now.
Okay. You want to just take a little break, sir?
Yeah, let's get this right real quick, because it's some.
So,
So,
like Akim and Akwakium, brothers and sisters, we're having some technical difficulties. Give us just a minute. Let us get this squared away, and we'll start the class back up. All right, testing 1, 2, 3.
All right, good.
How's it sound?
You good?
It's not peaking.
No, it's going in the yellow. I'm about to take it down just a little bit.
The yellow is to what? I think the
Yeah, you
red.
good to go then. It ain't touching red at all. You good to
As
go.
long as it's not hitting red.
Okay, yeah, you good to go.
All right, most in Christ. All right. So we was at
Genesis chapter 1,
verse 2.
verse 2. The book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 2. And the earth was without form and void.
And void. You understand? So it says the earth was without form and void. So notice it says the earth was without form. So everything that makes up the earth was there. It just was without form and void, meaning you couldn't point to it and identify it. You understand? Just like if you see all the Lego blocks, imagine all the Lego blocks scattered all across the floor. You understand? That's the earth
Yeah.
at this point in time.
Raise your hand now.
So imagine all the Legos scattered all across the floor.
That's up. Just put your hand down. Listen to the class.
You understand? So this is how the Bible is describing the earth at this point. So it's describing it as, all the Lego blocks that make up the earth is all spread out, all scattered apart. They're not put together the way they should be. All right? So read on.
All right. And darkness was upon the face of the deep.
And what?
And darkness was on the face of the deep.
You understand? So there was no light. You had all the things that make up the earth. Imagine this huge giant dust cloud in the middle of darkness. You understand? That's what was going on. You understand? So there's this huge dust cloud that makes up the earth. And in the midst of that dust cloud was just darkness. Read on.
And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters.
Read that again.
And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters.
You understand? So it says, in the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. You understand? Now this right here is a moment we like to take out and explain to everybody. You understand? This Bible, from beginning to end, was written by and written to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians only.
Damn right.
You understand? It was written by our forefathers. You understand? So if you know anything about black and Hispanic culture, we have ways of saying things that if you look up the definition of the words we're saying, you're not going to understand what we're talking about. But if spiritually you understand, like if you understand metaphors, then you know exactly what we're talking about.
That's right.
To give you an example, like amongst the 12 tribes, we like to use a term called breaking bread. You understand? Breaking bread. If you a literal nut job, and you think about the term breaking bread, you literally gonna think, if I say me and Officer Natazar are gonna break bread, you might think that me and him gonna go together and buy some hot dog buns and break them in half and split them.
Right.
You understand? But that's not what we mean when we say breaking bread. So when this scripture is saying, "In the Spirit of God moved upon the waters," it says, "In the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters." What that's talking about is similar to how people say, "Bust a move, make a move. I want you to move on this." You understand? Like the Most High gave the order to the angels to make a move and do something in the earth. Okay, go ahead.
Right. Verse 3. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light.
You understand? So it says, "And God said, let there be light." Now, let me ask you this. Does this mean that God said, let there be light, and magically light appeared? You understand? Is that what that means? La'ah. That's not what that means. You understand? What that means is that the Most High gave the order. It says, and God, because remember in the Hebrew, what's written is the Elohim. So this is the Most High and the angels. So when the Most High said, "Let there be light," then the angels went forth and made it so. Read on.
Verse 4. And Yahweh saw the light, that it was good.
That it was what?
That it was good.
So the Most High, when he gave the order to the angels to create the light, the Most High, when the angels were created the light, just like how we do in the UPK, the angels reported to the Most High. You understand? This is the light. He gave. They gave all the things. Said the light's burning at this degree. It's this shade, and it's this and this and this. And the Most High looked at it and said that it's good. Or as you hear a lot in the ISUPK, it's Tawab. You understand? The Most High approved it. So it was done. And it was good in the Most High's eyes. He approved of it. Read on.
And Yahweh divided the light from the darkness.
You understand? It says, and the Most High divided the light from the darkness. Read on.
And Salakia. Verse 5. And Yahweh called the light day, and the darkness he called night.
You understand? So he called the light day, and he called the darkness night. So this is the Most High. He's decreeing all of the things, all of the laws that make up the physics of the universe. You understand? Read on.
And the evening and the morning were the first day.
You understand? So this is the first day that the Most High did all this. You understand? Now I know some Christians out there thinking, yep, he did that in 24 hours. And 24 hours, like from 12 midnight to 11:59 p.m. That's the Most High did that in one day. How glorious is he? Well, listen, you're so dumb and stupid because you don't understand the Bible. You understand? Matter of fact, if you can hold that, Baba Kashah Adawan, I want you to go to 2 Peter's chapter 3, verse 8. Baba Kashah. 2 Peter's chapter 3, verse 8. You understand? A lot of people think the Most High made the earth in 7 calendar days. You understand? While, and thinking, well, it take me 7 days to work a 40-hour week. You understand? He ain't talking about a 40-hour week. That's not what the Most High did. That's not how the Most High worked. That's not how it breaks down. You understand? Read that whenever you got it, Adawan.
It says 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 8?
Chapter 3, verse 8.
Chapter 3, verse 8. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 8. But beloved, be not ignorant.
Be not what?
Be not ignorant.
You understand? So pay close attention to this. You understand? If you think that God created the earth in 7 calendar days, meaning he started on Monday and finished up on Saturday, which most Christians believe. They believe Sunday was the rest day, but that's a whole nother class.
Right.
You understand? So if you believe that God created the earth in 1 week, human time, we're gonna get clarification on it. Go ahead.
Be not ignorant of this one thing.
Of what?
Of this one thing.
You understand? So in the Bible, you understand? First of all, let's explain this. The first thing he says is, but beloved. You understand? The beloved he's talking about is the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. You understand? Black people, Hispanic people, Native American people, the people that are neglected, disrespected, and oppressed by every nation on the globe. The Bible calls you the Most High's beloved. You understand? This is the people, we are the people that the Most High and all of his prophets and all of Christ's disciples were talking about. You understand? Read on.
Hold on, Salakia.
No sweat.
Okay, so like.
All right. Big. Let's give a hand to the sister Melissa. Sister Melissa Santiago Hopkins. She says the Sabbath is Saturday.
Damn right.
Friday sunset to Saturday sunset. Let's give this sister a hand.
Damn right.
You understand? Because she is on point with exactly what the Bible describes. Because we just read where it says, and that evening and the morning were the first day.
Damn right.
So the day begins at evening. It doesn't begin at 12 o'clock midnight. You understand? Like our oppressor likes to say. You know what I'm saying? To them, the day begins at midnight. You understand? But to Israel and to the Most High, the day begins at sunset at evening. Right. You understand? Whenever you're ready, I don't mind.
That one day is with Yahweh as 1,000 years.
Read that again.
That one day is with Yahweh as 1,000 years.
You understand? It says that at one day with the Most High is as 1,000 years. You understand? Read on.
And 1,000 years as one day.
And 1,000 years is as one day to the Most High. You understand? So what we're talking about in this creation story is what took place over the span of 1,000 years. You understand? Over the span of 1,000 years, the Most High created light and declared the difference between the day and the night, when the day begins and when the day ends. You understand? And let's go back to Genesis. I think we picked up
verse 3.
Was it verse 3? No, it's like it was verse 6.
Verse 6? Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you're right. Kind of slightly. Verse 6. And Yahweh said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters.
It says, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters. Read on.
And let it divide the waters from the waters.
So think about that for a second. It says, and the Most High made a firmament in the midst of the waters. You understand? And divide and let it divide the waters from the waters. So that firmament is what we call the atmosphere. And that divides the waters of the earth from the waters of outer space. You understand? That just blew some minds. Because we didn't think of outer space as the waters. But here's the deal. Even our oppressor knows that outer space is considered the waters. Why? Because an airplane flies through the air, he calls it a plane. Mm-hmm. But a vessel that he sends into outer space, he calls it what? He calls it a ship. A spaceship. Just like how we call it a ship when we send it across the water. You understand? So the Most High created a firmament to separate the waters from the waters. So to give you a visual of what the Most High did, imagine a big tub of water. And inside that tub of water, in the middle of it, the Most High created a bubble. In that bubble, you have air. And then inside of that bubble, you have another pocket of water right in the center. That's what the Most High did. You understand? And so in that little space, that little gap between the waters, that's where we live. That's where we live and we breathe and we walk and we die. It's in that firmament. You understand? Read on.
Verse 7. And Yahweh made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament.
So it says, and the Most High created the firmament and he divided the waters that were under the firmament. You understand? So we have different bodies of water that are all separated. You understand? Separated by land. Read on.
From the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so.
You understand? So go ahead and go to the next verse.
Verse 8. And Yahweh called the firmament heaven.
You understand? Now here's one example of what heaven is according to the Bible. You understand? When you see the word heaven in the Bible, it's talking about different things. You understand? So in this situation, it's referring to heaven as the firmament. That's the sky, the clouds, the atmosphere, where the rain comes from, and all of that. Everything we see in the blue sky is considered one of the heavens. Another heaven is what we call outer space. Another heaven is where the Most High dwells, that's beyond space. You understand, that we can't get to no matter how hard we try. We're not gonna be able to do it. You understand? And then there's a heaven that is a condition on the earth. You understand? Just like hell is not a place that you go when you die, according to the Bible. You understand? Hell is a condition on the earth. If you don't believe me, just go to any prison and ask them, "Are you in heaven right now?" He gonna laugh and tell you, "Hell no, we in hell." You understand? Go down to any ghetto. You understand? Go to any orphanage, and ask the kids at the orphanage if they in heaven right now. You understand? Go down to any barrio. Go down to Rio de Janeiro. Go to the favelas and find out if they living in heaven down there. You understand? So, but like I said, that's for a whole nother class. But in this sense, the Most High called the sky, the firmament, heaven. Read on.
And the evening and the morning were the second day.
So again, this is another day of work that the Most High did. Another 1,000 years. You understand? And this day he created the firmament. He created that space for life to thrive. Read on.
Verse 9. And Yahweh said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so.
You understand? So if you think about it, anytime water covers the land, the water naturally recedes. You understand? So that water naturally receded. You understand? It was pulled down by gravity and into all the little pockets that make up the oceans and the rivers and the lakes and all of those things. Read on.
Verse 10. And Yahweh called the dry land earth.
He called it what?
Earth.
So the Most High declared the dry land that we walk on, that we build countries on, he called it earth. Read on.
And the gathering together of the waters called he seas.
So all the gatherings of the water, he referred to them as seas. Read on.
And Yahweh saw that it was good.
You understand? And again, the Most High gave the order to the angels to make all these things happen. And at the end of the work, the angels reported to the Most High, and the Most High gave his approval. You understand? Read on.
Verse 11. And Yahweh said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after its kind.
You understand? So the Most High is creating all of the vegetation of the earth. This is the third day. The Most High created all the vegetations on the earth. You understand? Read on.
Whose seed is in itself upon the earth, and it was so.
You understand? Go ahead.
Verse 12. And the earth brought forth grass, and herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind.
You understand? So what that's talking about, when it's talking about and its seed was within itself, meaning that like animals have to procreate to, what's the word I'm looking for? To have offspring. You understand? They have to have sex in order to bring forth life. But these plants don't have to do so because its seed is within itself. All the plants give forth their seed to the earth, and the earth grows more of that plant. So every plant has its own seed. So you have apple seeds. Apple trees bring forth apple seeds, which then bring forth more apple trees, which bring forth more apple seeds. You understand? This is what the Most High decreed. You understand? He didn't decree, oh, okay, so you got the apple seed, we're growing apples, but this apple tree gave up orange seeds. So now we're growing orange trees. That's not how the Most High works. There's an orange seed and there's an apple seed, and all of those seeds are within those plants, and that's how the Most High decreed it. Read on.
And Yahweh saw that it was good.
And he looked at all of this work that was done, and he gave his approval. You understand? Just like how with any job that you have, if you got a boss and your boss gives you a task to do, and then at the end of that task, you report it to your boss, and then your boss either approves it or says, you got a little more work to do. I need you to, I'm not really feeling how this is going, change it to that, do it like this. All right, that's good. Let's go. You understand? That's how all this was working. The Most High was giving these orders to the angels, and they brought forth all of this body of work. You understand? Read on.
Verse 13. And the evening and the morning were the third day.
You understand? So he created all this vegetation and all that is what he created on the third day. Read on.
Verse 14 in the book of Genesis. And Yahweh said, let there be light in the firmament of the heaven. Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night.
You understand? So he said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the nights. You understand? Read on.
And let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years.
So what lights in the sky do we go by to determine the days, the day and the night and the seasons? We go by the sun. We go by the moon. We go by the stars. So these are all the lights that the Most High created in the firmament to Salakia, to be able to use for a sign to determine. Okay, so the sun is out means it's daytime. The moon is out. Okay, it's nighttime. The stars is out. Okay, it's night. You understand? Okay, we got this constellation in the sky, which means it's about wintertime. This constellation means it's fall. You understand? So he gave us all of these things to determine the days and the times and the years and the seasons. Meanwhile, we got brothers and sisters that use those things to determine if you're going to have a good day or not. You understand? They go to the horoscopes. They be like, oh, well, such and such crossed over such and such. So that means you're going to have a bad day. You understand? That's not what those things are for. Those aren't the signs that the Most High is talking about. You understand? So he created those things for us to be able to determine the day, the night. You understand? Imagine it like a big clock. And on the clock, you got all the little numbers and all the little hands. You understand? That's what the Most High established when he created the lights in the heavens. Read on.
Verse 15. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and it was so.
You understand? So the Most High gave the angel for all these, they gave the order to these angels for all this stuff to get done, and guess what? They got it done. You understand? They didn't think about it. They didn't procrastinate. They got up, they got it done. You understand? Read on.
Verse 16. And Yahweh made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night.
So the light that he created, the greater light that he created for the day, that's talking about the sun. That's the greater light that determines the day. And the lesser light that is talking about is the moon. You understand? Even though the moon doesn't give off light, it reflects the light from the sun, and it gives light on the earth during the night. Read on.
He made the stars also.
You understand? So it's giving you a breakdown of those lights that he created. So it's explaining to you that, these lights that he's created is talking about the sun, the moon, and the stars. Read on.
Verse 17. And Yahweh set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth.
And that's why they're there. They're not there for any other reason other than to give light on the earth. You understand? That's why the sun is there, so we can see during the day. That's why the moon is there, so that we can kind of see during the night. You understand? They have this moon, they call it, what do they call it? I believe they call it the hunter's moon. I might be mistaken. If I'm wrong, somebody please correct me in the chat. But I believe they call it the hunter's moon, where every once in a while the moon will abnormally shine brighter. It'll be a full moon and it'll shine brighter than any other time, any other night. And on those particular nights, there's certain animals that do more hunting during that time, like wolves, like nocturnal animals, like wolves, and a lot of predatory animals.
Right.
And so they refer, Esau refers to it as the hunter's moon, because that's when the hunters, the animals that are hunters, that are predators, they become more active during those times because they can see better at night.
That's right.
You understand? Read on.
Salakia, verse 17. And Yahweh set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. Verse 18. And to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And Yahweh saw that it was good.
You understand? So again, Most High seen all this work, the sun, the moon, the stars, seen what the angels did after he gave the order, and he approved. You understand? He approved of it. He saw it and thought and said to himself that this is good. He said to the angels, this is good. That's Tawab. You understand? Read on.
Verse 19 in the book of Genesis. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day.
You understand? So these are the first 4,000 years of the Most High of history. You understand? You understand? Before man ever walked the earth. This is history before mankind. You understand? Read on.
Verse 20. And Yahweh said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven.
You understand? So it says, and let the Most High bring forth abundantly the moving creature that have life. Let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that have life, and fowl that may fly, and above the earth in the open firmament of heaven. So the Most High is creating animals now. He's creating things that move and breathe and eat. You understand? And this is the Most High doing this on the fifth day. So we're 5,000 years into history, because history began in the beginning. Where the Most High created the earth and it was formless and void. You know what I'm saying? That's a history prior to mankind ever even first building a house or even making a brick or even taking a leak. You understand? This is before the first leak was ever taken. You understand? Read on.
Verse 21. And Yahweh created great whales and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind.
You understand? And just like the plants, the Most High created the animals that created other animals after their kind. So the whale made more whales. The fish made more fish. The birds made more birds. Read on.
And every winged fowl after his kind. And Yahweh saw that it was good.
And the Most High seen all this work that he gave the angels to do. The angels reported to it after reported to the Most High after it was done. And the Most High said that it was good. You understand? The Most High gave his approval. He said, this is Tawab. You understand? Read on.
Verse 22. And the Most High blessed them, saying, Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let fowl multiply in the earth.
You understand? So that's how so many animals exist today. The Most High gave the order for these animals to do what? To be fruitful and multiply. This is the first commandment that he gave to the living beings of earth. He said, be fruitful and multiply. So he told all the rabbits, get to humping. You understand? He told all the birds, make more birds. Be fruitful and make more birds. Told all the whales, be fruitful and make more birds. So the Most High decreed the bringing forth of offspring amongst living, breathing animals. Read on.
Verse 23. And the evening and the morning were the fifth day.
You understand? So here we are, 5,000 years in. You understand? We covered 5,000 years of history just in the book of Genesis. You understand? Where the Most High is developing everything that we know of today as the earth. Read on.
Verse 24. And the Most High said, Let the earth bring forth the living creature after his kind.
Says, let the earth bring forth the living creature after his kind. You understand? So he's talking about the earth. Remember before he was talking about the waters. Mm-hmm. Now he's talking about the earth. We're talking about the animals that live on the land. You understand? Read on.
Cattle and creeping thing and beasts of the earth after his kind, and it was so.
So he created the cows, and guess what they did? They made more cows. He created the dogs, and guess what they did? They made more dogs. You understand? He created the creeping things, the lizards and the bearded dragons. He created them, and guess what they brought forth? More bearded dragons. Read on.
Verse 25. And the Most High made the beasts of the earth after his kind, and cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And the Most High saw that it was good.
You understand? So the Most High seen all this abundance of cows. Because think about it. Remember, this is over the course of 1,000 years. So over the course of 1,000 years, we're seeing, you see a plethora of cows, a world full of cows and birds and rabbits and, all the animals on the earth. They were to be fruitful and multiply. And over the span of 1,000, imagine how many cows, if America was left alone for 1,000 years, how many buffalo you think would roam the earth? You understand? So the Most High, this is over 1,000 years. You understand? So there's an entire world of animals at this point. Read on.
Verse 26 in the book of Genesis. And the Most High said, Let us make man in our image.
Okay, now let's think about that. Now he's getting he's stepping up a notch. You understand? He created the earth. He created the sun, the moon, and the stars. All those are inanimate objects. Okay, then he stepped it up a notch. All right, now let's create the birds and the fish and the whales. You understand? And then he stepped it up a notch. Said, all right, we're going to create the cattle and the lizards and all that, all the other things on the earth. And guess what? Now he stepped it up another notch. And now he says, let us create man in our image. You understand? What does that mean? What does that mean when it says, and God created man in our image? You understand? First of all, the hour, ain't no Christian pastor ever been able to explain that. What does it mean when it says God created man in our image? You understand? It's talking about the Most High. You understand? His son Jesus Christ, who was there from the beginning. You understand? And he was talking about the angels. All of that make up the powers. You understand? So he said, let us make man in our image. You understand? Let us give them the mind to be able to think, to be able to have logic, to be able to make logical decisions. You understand? To be able to follow orders like the angels follow orders. You understand? Because that's why man was created anyway. We was created to serve the Most High.
Damn right.
You understand? Read on.
Verse 26. And Salakia. Verse 26 in the book of Genesis. And the Lord, Salakia, and the Most High said, let us make man in our image after our likeness.
You understand? He said, let us make him in our image after our likeness. You understand? So originally man was created to be just like the angels. Not physically, but to think and operate just like the angels. For the Most High to give a decree, give it to the angels pass it down to the men, and then the men follow the will of the Most High. You understand? Read on.
And let them have dominion over the fish of the sea.
You understand? He said, let them have dominion over the fish of the sea. Read on.
And over the fowl of the air.
And over the fowl of the air. Read on.
And over the cattle. And all over the earth.
You understand? And all over the earth. So the Lord created man and gave him dominion over everything. You understand? The Most High created mankind. He didn't create us just as animals. You understand? We don't, when chimpanzees talk to each other, they're not speaking another language that we can decode. You understand? When dogs bark, that's not a language that we can write a book about and be able to communicate with dogs. You understand? We are a being created separate from animals to have dominion over them.
That's right.
You understand? And what gives us dominion over the animals is our ability to logically make decisions. Our ability to ignore our instincts and make a logical decision.
Damn right.
You understand? That's what gives us dominion over the animals. Read on.
And over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth.
You understand? He gave us dominion over everything on the earth. And this is where, the white man just proves how ass backwards he is. You understand? Because, see, I've always noticed that blacks and Hispanics, I love dogs. Most specifically, I love pit bulls. I hate chihuahuas, but I love pit bulls. Me and pit bulls just get along. No matter who pit bull it is, that's my buddy, and I'm his buddy. But I don't look at a pit bull like he's my brother, right, or my little cousin, or right, my child. You understand? To me, I love a dog, but he a dog. His job is to serve me. Right. You understand? That's his job. His job is to bark if somebody break in the house and bite their head off if they enter. You understand? So for us, we're not equal to the animals. You understand? We're not the same as a cat or a dog or a monkey. We didn't evolve from gorillas or things like that, like what scientists try to say. You understand? We didn't evolve from little 3-foot monkey men. The Most High created mankind, and he created us to think logically. You understand? Read on.
Verse 27. So the Most High created man in his own image. In the image of the Most High created he him. Male and female created he them.
You understand? So the Most High created, and so here we are. Let's stop for a second, right? So what's this? The 6th day? This is the 6th day. Mankind was the last of his creations. You understand? So on the 6th day, he created man, male and female. You understand? And guess what? Just like how you had the cows brought forth cows after its kind. And just like how he created the fowls of the sky, or the birds of the sky, they brought forth birds after their kind. He created man, male and female. And they brought forth other children after their kind. You understand? Read on.
Verse 28. And the Most High blessed them, and the Most High said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth.
You understand? So he created mankind, and then he told them, be fruitful and multiply. You understand? Be fruitful and multiply. You understand? And he gave them dominion, gave us dominion over all living things on the earth. You understand? Read on.
Verse 29 in the book of Genesis, chapter 1. And the Most High said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed, to you it shall be for meat.
You understand? So the Most High is basically saying right here in the scripture, you know, even though he created the sun, the moon, the stars, the earth, the cows, the dogs, the cats, the frogs, the orange tree, the apple tree, the daisy, the dandelion, he created all these things for what? He created it for us. He created it for us, for mankind. Now, fast forward. Now, at this point in time, he created it for mankind. But over all time, he created it all for the 12 tribes of Israel. You understand? Read on.
Verse 30. And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat, and it was so.
You understand? So he says, and to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat, and it was so. You understand? So what that means is that every green herb is good to eat. That's what it means. Well, it means it's good for some particular use. You understand? You can't necessarily go out and eat poison ivy, but there is a purpose that poison ivy serves. I don't know what that purpose is, but it serves a purpose. Somehow, some way, poison ivy benefits mankind. You understand? Read on.
Okay. Verse 30. And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat, and it was so. Verse 31. And the Most High saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day.
So here's the deal, right? He created mankind on the sixth day. You understand? On the sixth day, he created mankind. You understand? So, let's see. Melissa, is the volume too low?
Louder for the people.
Yeah, she said louder for the people in the back. Or is it too
I
loud?
think that's just. I think that's just like a phrase. I don't think she's like.
Gotcha. But she got me with that one.
Right. Yeah. Good.
All right. So let's see here. All right. So the Most High saw everything that he made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. You understand? So all these things that the Most High made, he made those things on the sixth day. I mean, throughout those 6 days. You understand? Now we're going to go to chapter 2 and start at verse 1, Baba Kasha.
So like I said, one time.
Chapter 2.
Chapter 2, verse 1. Genesis chapter 2, verse 1. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the hosts of them.
So the Most High finished, he finished his work. He's looking at the sun, the moon, the stars, the earth, the plants, the animals, the mankind making babies. He looking at his work like, man, you know what I mean? It's too wild. Everything is too wild. You understand? So read on.
Verse 2. And on the seventh day, the Most High ended his work.
So on the seventh day, the Most High ended his work. You understand? So he created everything that was going to be created, and he ended his work. Read on.
which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day.
And he did what?
He rested on the seventh day.
He rested on the first day.
On the seventh day.
You understand? He rested on Thursday.
On the seventh day.
He rested on the seventh day. So this is after the sixth day. So on the seventh day, he rested. So that means that on Thursday, so like on Friday, when the sun went down, the Most High took a rest. You understand? And he rested. You understand? For 1,000 years. Read on.
From all his work which he had made. Verse 3. And the Most High blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it had he had rested from all his work which the Most High created and made.
Read that again.
Verse 3. And the Most High blessed the seventh day.
He blessed the what day?
The seventh day.
So the Most High blessed the seventh day. This is what the Most High decreed. You understand? Now here's the thing. Who decreed Sunday as the holy day? You understand? Who decreed that? Because I'm not reading that in the Bible. The Most High didn't work 7 days and then take a chill on the 8th day.
Right.
That's not what the Most High did. You understand? He rested on the 7th day. You understand? Friday, when that sun went down, the Most High decreed that day as the day of rest. You understand? From Friday sundown to Saturday sundown is a day of rest that the Most High decreed, and he blessed that day. You understand? The Roman Catholic Church, they're the ones who decreed Sunday as the Lord's day. How you gonna change the Lord's day? You understand? Like, that's like, you know what I mean? If I went and played basketball on Tuesday and I won the game on Tuesday, you understand? You can't go back and rewrite what happened and say it happened on Saturday because it happened on Tuesday.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the day that the Lord decreed or blessed was the 7th day. You understand? Find me a scripture in the Bible where the Most High said, you know what, I changed my mind, man. We're going to make this thing on Sunday. We're going to push it back a day. It's nowhere in the Bible. The Most High laid it down, and that's what it is. You understand? Read on.
And sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which the Most High created and made.
You understand? So there you go. So on the 7th day, the Most High rested. You understand? From all his work. You understand? He done created mankind and they doing good. They making babies. You know what I mean? The Lord happy with what he done did. So he's sitting back and chilling. You understand? Read on.
Verse 4. These are the generations of the heavens and the earth when they were created in the day of Salakia. These are the generations of the heavens and of the earth when they were created in the day that Yahweh made the earth and the heavens. Verse 5. And every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb of the field before it grew.
You understand? So what it's doing is explaining that, you know, everything we went over, you know, these are the generations of the earth. You understand? This is the how can I describe it? The timeline of the Most High's work. You understand? You know what I'm saying? Because there's generations of cows and animals and people. You understand? These are the generations of the heavens. You understand? There's the generation where he created the lights in the sky, the water, the animals in the ocean, the plants of the field, the grass, the trees, the birds, the cows. You know, these are the generations of those things. Read on.
Right. Salaki.
I think you're on verse 5.
Verse 5. And every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb of the field before it grew. For the Most High had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground.
All right, so what does that mean? It says, and there he says before all these things there was not, he noticed that there was not a man to till the ground. You understand? What does that mean? To till the ground. You understand? Because think about it, mankind was already created. But you mean to tell me that mankind was created and thriving and having children, but yet there was not a man to till the ground? You mean to tell me on the whole planet there was nobody cutting grass or planting or growing crops? You understand? Hold on one second. Oh, Salaki. You understand? What he's saying is there was no man to do the Lord's work on earth. You understand? There was no man to do the Lord's work. Read on.
Verse 6. But there went up a mist from the earth and watered the whole face of the ground. Hold on, Salaki, is that?
Yeah, verse 6.
Yeah, that's right. Verse
So,
6.
but there went up a mist from the earth and
Right.
watered the whole face of the ground. Go
That's
ahead.
right. Verse 6. But there went up a mist from the earth and watered the whole face of the ground. Verse 7. And the Most High formed man of the dust of the ground.
So it says, and the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground. You understand? Now what does that mean? What does that mean? You understand? What does it mean when it says, and the Lord formed us from the dust of the ground? What does that mean? Anybody want to take a crack at it? On what it means when it says that the Lord created God from the dust of the ground? It's like, sir, you know what that precept is? About the, hold on.
Ashan said, gave us the laws.
Well, no. That's not what it means when it says he created a. Well, what I'm speaking of more specifically is what does it mean when he says he created us from the dust of the ground? What is the dust of the ground? Break it down a little further. I mean, you're not far off, but break it down a little further. Give me a little more. Give me a little more.
Ashan says a lower state. I think I know what
Okay.
you're trying to say, but yeah.
All right, so you're right. So he created man from a lower state. You understand? Basically, okay. So to give you an example, when it's talking about the dust of the ground, right? To give you like a precept, you want to go to the scripture on the valley of the dry bones. You understand? When the army came up out of the dust. You understand? Out of the ground, and their bodies formed together. You understand? This is a metaphor for this man was living in a lower state, meaning that he was just like every other man in the world. You understand? Chasing tail, doing drugs, selling drugs. You understand? Getting tattoos, going to the club, gang banging. Whatever it is that brothers do in the world, he was doing the same thing. He was shucking and jiving, as the old folks like to say, just like every other brother on the planet.
Yeah, right.
You understand? He was not following the Most High. he was living in a lower state. You know what I mean? Like think of it like a crackhead. You understand? In his smoking the crack and loving smoking the crack, and don't think there's nothing better in that world than smoking that crack.
Right.
You understand? But it says the Lord formed him out of the dust of the ground. You understand? So what that means is that he took him from that lower state and elevated his mind and taught him. You understand? And taught him the truth. You understand? Taught him the law, statutes, and commandments that's written in the Bible. Taught him what to eat, what not to eat, what kind of woman to deal with, what kind of woman not to deal with. You understand? What holidays to celebrate and what holidays not to celebrate. What customs that the Most High once followed and what things he does not want us to follow. You understand?
It's like, if I could, just, I know this is history class, but just for y'all Christians out there, you understand, and also you fake Hebrew Israelites out there, this is not saying, you understand, that the Lord took some dirt from the earth,
right,
and molded it and made a human out of dirt,
right.
You know what I'm saying? And for you fake Israelites, this ain't got nothing to do with the reason why we are the color that we are,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Because they'll try to say that, oh, that's why we brown, because we look like the same colors as dirt.
Right.
It ain't got nothing to do with this, because this dust is not talking about dirt. It's not talking about the physical dirt on the earth.
It can't be, because I'm high yellow. What dirt was I made from?
They'll try to say you like some sand or something.
From sand from the beach. Sometimes the sand darker than me. Then what? You know, he said, and then he says the clay. I ain't the color of clay. Clay is red. You understand? We got clay down here in South Carolina. You get, clay. That's the arch nemesis of all white Air Force Ones. You understand? If you're born and raised in South Carolina, you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
That's the arch nemesis of some all white Air Forces.
Yes.
Man, you live in South Carolina, you might, everybody like the all white Air Forces.
You might as well wear the black Air Force.
Yeah, you get you the black one. Because them white ones gonna be orange and tinted. I be seeing cats from New York that have Air Force Ones, and they, no matter how long they wear them, they don't never turn that orange that they turn in South Carolina.
Wow,
They might get a little wrinkled up, but they still stay relatively fresh. But out here in the country, you understand? Let's see. You understand? So out here in the country, that red dirt is a sworn enemy of them Air Forces. You understand? But the Lord didn't say he formed us from the dust of the earth, from dirt. You understand? So you mean to tell me we mud people walking around? we just big clumps of mud and dirt. You understand? And then, what I mean? That don't even make no sense. Why he create us from the dirt? Where did he create the cows from? Did he create them from the dirt? You understand? Read on.
All right. Verse, Salakia. And breathed into his nostrils the breath of life.
He did what?
Breathed into his nostrils the breath of life.
You understand? So he breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. You understand? He breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. You understand? It means he taught him the truth, the law, statutes, and commandments, which are going to give you life. Mm-hmm. Breaking the law, statutes, and commandments is going to bring you death. So what the Most High did was he found a man, and he taught this man how to save his life, how to stop being a crackhead, so that he can go forth and do what? And stop other brothers from being a crackhead. You understand? He taught this man how to change his life so that he can go forth and change other people's lives.
Damn right.
You understand? That's what he did. You understand? So when he brought him out of the dust of the earth, it's not talking about he didn't find some good dirt in the middle of Africa, some good rich black dirt, and make a black person out of clay, like a claymation. You understand? He didn't. That's not how it went down. You understand? The Lord brought Adam up out of this lowest he brought this man up from this lower state. You understand? And taught him the law, statutes, and commandments. Taught him the truth. You understand? Taught him all the things that we learn in this Bible that will save your life. And taught him what not to do. He gave him the whole rundown. This is what I want, this is what I don't want. You understand? Read on.
And man became a living soul.
And man became a living soul. You understand? What is that's heavy right there.
Mm-hmm.
Because you ever heard the term that people can be spiritually dead?
Mm-hmm.
The scripture refers to the children of Israel as the dead all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because we like even right now, our people are dead spiritually. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are dead spiritually. We worship gods of other nations.
Yeah, right.
You understand? We kill each other relentlessly in the street.
Yeah, right.
And we love our oppressor.
Mm-hmm.
We are dead. You understand? We are not a living, breathing nation. You understand? We are not. We are a dead nation. Point to our nation. Where's our nation? Where's our land at? Where's our country? Where's our government? Where's our representation on the earth?
Mm-hmm.
You understand? We don't have no representation on the earth. Because the earth hates the 12 tribes of Israel.
Damn right.
They hate the 12 tribes of Israel because we are the Most High's representative on earth.
Damn right.
We represent the Most High. You understand? To all the other nations on the earth, we are the gods of this earth.
Damn right.
You understand? Read on.
Oh, and also, if I could say, because it's heavy you said that, but the Bible also refers to the 12 tribes of Israel, the condition that we are today is dry bones.
It's dry bones, right? You understand? When it's talking about the valley of the dry bones, when the scripture says, you know, when he think about that, if you know that scripture about the valley of the dry bones, you understand? The angel told him to prophesy to these bones that they may live. You understand? Think about how, if you take that literally, think about how crazy that sounds.
Mm-hmm.
You mean to tell me I need to talk to these pile of bones over here? And this pile of bones is going to literally stand before me as an army of the dead zombies? That's not what that scripture is talking about.
Damn right.
You understand? It's talking about us being in a lower state.
That's right.
And the prophets being sent out to those people in that lower state to raise up an army for the Lord.
That's right.
You understand? Because the scripture says when he prophesied unto those bones, they stood before him an exceedingly great army. You understand? He didn't prophesy unto them bones and what stood before him was an exceedingly great choir with robes and a homosexual at the forefront. You understand? What the Lord wanted was warriors, soldiers. And the spirit of Israel is the spirit of warfare. The spirit of the Most High is the spirit of warfare. You understand? When the spirit of Christianity is the spirit of passivity. You understand? Because the Christian church teach you to do what? They teach you to be a punk.
Right.
You understand? To be a selfish punk. That's what the Christian church teaches you to be. You understand? Meanwhile, the Lord requires soldiers. You understand? A soldier is someone who's willing to die for his people. You understand? And you're looking at people, at brothers who are willing to die for our people. To put our lives on the line for our people. You understand? We went out here in the midst of the coronavirus epidemic and was giving out food while the Christian churches closed their doors. Giving out clothes. Matter of fact, down in Houston, I always bring this up about the brothers in Houston, man. Because it excuse my language, but it pissed me off greatly to see that. Because they actually had on video, there was a homeless sister standing out in front of the church while the church is collecting food and clothes to give out to the homeless, so they claim. this homeless sister was standing out there and got turned around from the church because she wasn't a member of the church. You understand? And the brothers had it on camera when they turned the sister down. And then you know what brothers did? They went into their own closets and they own homes and gave this sister clothes and food from their own homes. You understand? Why the church turned their back on her because she wasn't a member. Matter of fact, there was a situation that happened. It happened a few years ago.
So
Where-
if I could, is this the story of the sister who's, I think it was either her mother died?
Right.
Her mother died, and her mother was always faithful to that church, giving everything she had. She even gave, like, you know, some money that she had accumulated from disability and just a lot of different things, you know, that she had, this money that she had, to the church. And when the sister died, the church didn't want to, didn't want her to have a funeral. Like the family would have to pay the church in order for the woman to be buried, or for them to have to even do anything, have a funeral service for the woman. And they basically turned her away. She had been a faithful member for some years.
Right.
I think they turned the family. Is this that same one you're talking about?
Yeah, kind of. So, like, if I could.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened was the mother fell ill.
Right.
And ended up having a stroke and went into a coma for like a year.
Okay.
And at the end of and in a year after she went into that coma, she ended up passing away.
Right.
And so what the church did is they refused to have to let the sister have a funeral at that church.
Right.
Because the mother hadn't paid tithes in over a year.
That's what it was.
And so the reason why the mother didn't pay tithes over that span of that year is because she was in a goddamn coma.
Just evil, man.
Like you are her Christian pastor, and she pays you money faithfully every Sunday for like 50 years. She went to the church it was a ridiculous amount of years that she went to that church and never missed a Sunday payment. And all of a sudden she catches a stroke, and you mean to tell me this sister sat in that hospital in a coma for a goddamn year? And y'all didn't even know about it? Not only did you not know about it, but when you found out about it, you didn't care about it. That was cold-blooded to me. You understand? And that right there is unacceptable for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Black people need to stop putting up with the Christian church. Hispanic people need to stop putting up with this Christian church, man. Because just the Hispanics alone give billions of dollars a year to the Catholic Church. Billions, multi-billions a year. You understand? And yet, down in Argentina, they molesting kids by the millions, by the thousands, hundreds of thousands. And guess what? It never gets reported. It gets reported, but nothing ever happens. The Catholic priest, even here in America, I thought when you molest a child and somebody tell on you and you get found guilty, I thought you go to jail for it. You know what happens and this is the world we living in. The priest, they don't go to jail for it. They don't go to prison. You know what happens? They get transferred. You understand? They might be a Catholic priest in New York City at one of the biggest churches, get caught molesting kids, and get transferred to Belton, South Carolina. Some little small rinky-dink town to where they can just be off the grid and molest all the kids they want. You understand? That's not acceptable for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. That's not acceptable leadership for our people. You understand? And I know we're sidebarring for a second, but I'm going to go ahead and get this out. What's also unacceptable for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians is for us to go out here and vote for either Donald Trump or Joe Biden.
Damn right.
You understand? Like my grandmother been on me every day. Who you gonna vote for? We make sure you go out here and vote. I know you don't believe in voting, but you gotta, a lot of people died for you to. I said, ain't nobody died for me to have the right to vote. You understand? Ain't nobody die for that. You understand? Because here's the deal. Even if I do vote, I'm in a catch-22 regardless. I vote for Trump, they gonna lock black people up. I vote for Joe Biden, they gonna lock black people up. I vote for Trump, they gonna lock Hispanics up at the border. I vote for Biden, the Hispanics are still gonna get locked up at the border. So neither one of them serves my interests.
Yeah, right.
You understand? Neither one of them serves my interests. None of these political candidates serve my interests. If that political candidate, you understand? First of all, the scriptures say, if you're gonna set a king over you, it has to be someone from amongst thy people.
Yeah, right.
That's one. So, in order for a leader to be over black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, guess what nationality that leader has to be? He has to be of the bloodline of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. He has to be one of us. And guess what? It also has to be someone that the Lord chose, not someone that we chose. You understand? To give you an example, King David in the Bible was a man that the Lord chose to rule over the nation of Israel. In the nation of Israel, when Israel finally got a king, they didn't come together and vote on who their king was going to be. That was determined and decreed by the Lord at the hand of the prophet Samuel. You understand? Salaki, if I could, we're going to go ahead and get back on track. If you could read on, Baba Gashan.
God. Genesis chapter 2, verse 8. And the Most High planted a garden.
Salaki, if we can go read verse 7 again.
Verse 7. Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. And the Most High formed man of the dust of the ground.
Go ahead.
And breathed into his nostrils the breath of life.
So this man, it says the Lord created man from the dust of the ground. This man was in what we call hell. You understand? He was living in a lower state. You understand? Doing just like any other man in the world does. You understand? Sleeping with 1,000 women, doing all the drugs. You understand? At all the parties, at all the clubs, beefing with all the other gangs. You understand? Trapping on all the blocks. You understand? That's what this man was doing. He was doing what he knew, just like everybody else, and living in a lower state. But the Lord breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. You understand? The breath of life. You understand? Which is the law, statutes, and commandments. The truth. You understand? Just like how brothers and sisters, when they come into the ISUPK, you understand, the teachers in the ISUPK breathe into their nostrils the breath of life. Because the things that they teach in the Christian church is going to have either you killed or someone else is going to be killed. Either you're going to die or someone else is going to die because of what they teach in the Christian church. You understand? I used to date a sister a while back. She had told me one time about how she got pregnant when she was in high school. She got pregnant when she was in high school. And her mother made her have an abortion. You understand? We're going to talk about abortion another day too. You understand? But her mother made her have an abortion. You understand? I happened to ask her, well, what made your mother make her young daughter, pregnant with her young granddaughter, abort the child? What made her abort the child? I thought your mama went to church. I thought she was all about the church. You know what I'm saying? I thought she stayed in church every Sunday.
It's like, if I could, it's strange to hear that, because a lot of the time, it seems as if like the grandparent or the grandmother is like just more excited about the child coming than the actual daughter. Mm-hmm. And they be the ones that you You can't get them to stop wanting to hold the child or pick up the child and take the child home with them.
Right. That's what you would think.
That's what you would think, though.
But in that Christian church, see, I'm gonna tell you what happened. So I asked her. I said, why would your mother make you have an abortion? Like all these girls in Anderson having all these babies in high school, and she make you kill it. Mm-hmm. What even brought her to that decision? And you know what she told me? She said her mother, when she found out she was pregnant, her mother, the first phone call she made was to her pastor.
Ooh, wee.
And her pastor said, you don't want to embarrass yourself in front of the church. I recommend that you take your daughter to a clinic and just have her not have the child, because you don't want to shame yourself in front of the church. You understand? You don't want that girl to ruin her life by having that child so young. Well, here's the problem. Here's the problem. There are 450,000 black babies that get aborted every single year. You understand? And here's the thing. That is one of the most diabolical things that has ever been put into play in recent history in America. You understand? That's the number 2 killer of all time of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Abortion. You would think it's heart disease or gang violence or some other means, drug addiction, drug epidemic. Think about all the things that kill blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. None of it kills more than abortion. I forgive me, I never looked up the statistics on how many Hispanic women have abortions or how many Native American women have abortions.
So, I just brought this out of class the other day.
Go ahead.
But I do believe that the numbers for Hispanics is higher than Judah.
Oh my God.
It's higher.
That's
if I'm not, as a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, in 2019, I believe it was 300,000 for black people, and for Hispanics it was somewhere around 400,000 or 500,000.
Yeah, I know. Black women. You said it was how much? Because I think it's 450,000 for black women.
For black women,
right?
But for Hispanic women, it's higher than that. It's about, I think it's around 5. It's higher.
That's 1 million babies a year. We ain't even talking about the natives yet. You understand? The Native Americans. There's a tribe in North Carolina. I don't want to say the wrong tribe. The Catawba Indians. The Catawba tribe. That used to be one of the largest and most fierce tribes on the East Coast. One of the largest. Cherokee was the largest. But a close runner-up was the Catawba. And they wasn't no joke. Now today, there are only 3,000 Catawba Indians alive today. You understand? Where they used to occupy majority of North Carolina and South Carolina, right alongside the Cherokee. You understand? Today, there's only around 3,000 Native American Catawba Indians alive today. That's a very small number. If you think about that, small towns have populations of 200,000. You understand? That's like one side of town. 3,000. You understand? 3,000. That's not even enough to fill up a basketball arena. When it used to be one of the largest and most fierce tribes. You understand? And you know how we got here? We got here because of our leadership. Because our leaders are not breathing into our nostrils the breath of life.
Damn right. The
Christian church is not breathing into our nostrils the breath of life.
That's right.
You understand? Because here's the deal. Any person that will tell you to kill a baby is one of the most cold-blooded monsters to ever live. That's a cold-blooded bastard, Salakia. That's a cold-blooded bastard. You understand? But meanwhile, see, here's the deal. The Christian, everybody likes to give all the praises to the Christian church and tell us we need to love the white man and love the Arab man and this and that. Well, guess what? The Christian church love the white man.
That's right.
But they telling black people to kill their babies. But in the ISUPK, we love black people, Hispanic people, and Native Indian people. And we tell you not to kill your baby. And to go even further, even if you listen to us and you don't kill your baby, but you still don't want your baby, guess what? You have a place where you can take your child. And guess what? It's beautiful brothers and sisters all throughout the ISUPK, all throughout the world that will take that child and raise it as its own.
That's right.
That child would never miss a meal. You understand? It's going to be impossible for a child to miss a meal in the ISUPK. It's impossible. You understand? If a child misses a meal, oh, that parent got some explaining to do.
That's right.
You understand? It's too much food getting passed around. You understand? It's too much clothes, too many baby clothes. It's too many sisters willing to babysit. It's too many of them. It's too many brothers ready at the drop of a dime to love blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We're the only place in the world that will take in a child. We're the only place in the world. And guess what? You know what I mean? Some women may not be ready to be a mother.
Right.
And you know what? It is what it is. Because we are living in hell right now. We living in the worst conditions on the earth out of any other nation. You understand? And you know, it tripped me out how back in the day, you know, parents used to be like, boy, you better eat all that food on your plate. You know, it's kids starved in Africa right now. And you know, as a kid, I used to be like, damn them kids in Africa. I don't want to eat the rest of this. You understand? But here's the deal. Them African kids, guess what? They gonna grow up and they gonna get a job from an African man. They gonna vote for an African leader. They gonna get pulled over by an African police officer. And they gonna go to see an African judge. And they gonna get cut a deal because that's their brother. Meanwhile, we live in something worse than Nazi Germany. Talk about concentration camps. Let's talk about prison camps.
That's right.
We've been in concentration camps for 400 years. You understand? We live in a nation. Come on now. We live in a nation. What kind of a nation? What kind of a country? What kind of a government will take a child that probably ain't ate in a couple days, that then walked 150 miles to get into the country with their parents in hopes that this child will be able to have a better life? And instead of you giving that child a better life, you take it from his parents and stick it in a cage.
Right.
Not to see his parents in who knows how long. Listen, when they first started detaining them brothers and sisters at the border, I cried. You understand? And I put it like this. I used to be ashamed to admit that I cried over stuff like that until I got counsel from General Muhammad about it. I thought I was a wuss. Like, I called the general and said, "Salakia, sir. I need to be checked." Because when you think about the conditions of our people, that is nothing to be happy about. You understand? But guess what? In every Christian church, they molesting kids. Listen, what's the name of that church in Greenville? Redemption Church? Redemption Church. It's so many people that still love that pastor. Man, John Gray. Listen, John Gray is a Christian pastor right here in Greenville, South Carolina. Then we're just talking about one incident that I can call off the top of my head in the upstate. We're just gonna talk about John Gray because he one of the biggest churches. We ain't gonna mention the brother in Spartanburg. You understand? You remember that brother?
Yeah, God.
Yeah. So John Gray, see, everybody he went viral on the internet when he bought his wife a Lamborghini. right? Bought his wife a Lamborghini. You understand? General Yohana prophesied it and said that, you know, he didn't buy that woman that Lamborghini because she's a good wife. He bought her that Lamborghini because she keep his secrets. You understand? She keep all his secrets. And guess what? He hit the nail on the head. Because right after he said that, it ended up coming out that that man had got a 13-year-old girl pregnant. You understand? And guess what? His wife found out about it. She knew about it. That's how she got the Lamborghini. Because she could have exposed him in front of the whole church. Like, oh, hell no. You understand? You out here sleeping with little kids, getting them pregnant. Who did I marry? That just go to show you how wicked the women are in the Christian church. She sat there and let that happen. Why? Because she got her Lamborghini out the deal. She could care less. She could care less about the mind of her little sister, of this young black woman who been molested by this sloppy old man, got pregnant, and made to have an abortion at 13 years old.
Right.
You understand? A lot of women who have abortions never get over it. They're haunted by that for the rest of their life. Especially when they go to have more kids. They're constantly haunted at the fact that they killed their firstborn, or they killed however many. It's some women out here that are serial killers. You understand? I use that term a lot. Serial killers. You know what I mean? You killed more than a couple people, you's a serial killer. In certain fashion, guess what? You going in here in ritual fashion, getting doped up, getting high, get you high out your mind, and then they stick this little thing inside you. It's like a vacuum cleaner, and suck the baby out. I seen a video out of one. I think I played it during class a while back, but it was a video showing. It was a sonic. I don't know the word. Sonogram, sonic scan, sound bite.
It's called
sonogram.
It's called a sonogram.
Yeah, so it was one of them, right? And it was the first time I think an abortion was actually filmed. It was like the first time they actually recorded the process of a baby getting aborted. Right. So all the arguments about abortion is that it ain't really living, it's just a puff of cells. At that point, it's just it's not a living thing, and blah blah blah, and this and that and this and that and whatever you want to say, right? But in this video of the abortion, when you know, it's hard to describe, but this baby in that sonogram, once that thing enters into the womb, you see that you then watch that baby fight for his life until it's eventually ripped apart.
Right.
You understand? You see his leg get ripped off, his arms get ripped off, and the whole time you see the baby, you see in the baby's face, the thing don't even have vocal cords yet. And it's screaming at the top of his lungs. Screaming. Like, you ever seen a baby scream in a sonogram? I haven't until that day. This baby, little, I'm talking like maybe the size of my little finger right here. Probably smaller than that. My little piece of my finger. And this thing is trying to scream for help from wherever.
Damn.
And lo and behold, the only thing there to protect it is the thing that signed the waiver for it to die. You understand? And guess what? That was made legal because our oppressors, Baba Kashar, our oppressors used our Christian church leaders to make that popular amongst our people.
Right.
You understand? If you don't believe me, just look up the Negro Project. Just look up Margaret Sanger. Just look up some of the things Margaret Sanger said. You understand? Matter of fact, next history class, we're going to go into the history on the Negro Project. We're going to break it down. You understand? But look up what Margaret Sanger said. You understand? She said that, you know, the only way to control black people is through a religious appeal. So if we want to get something across, we got to use their religious leaders to do it. And guess what? Guess who the biggest leader was? Who was used by old Margaret Sanger, by the Ku Klux Klan, to talk black people into aborting their babies. If you said Martin Luther King, then you are correct. Martin Luther King, or as we say in the ISUPK, Orgy Mike. You understand? Because his name really ain't Martin. His name is really Michael. His name is Michael King. You understand? And we call him Orgy Mike because, matter of fact, it's a book by Robert Abernathy. What's it called? The Walls Came Closing In or something? I might be wrong about the title, but there's a book written by Robert Abernathy, who he actually ran with Martin Luther King back in the day, and he exposed all of it, all the orgies. You understand? The tricking. You understand? Everybody like to say Martin Luther King was a champion for black people and people of all colors. Man, Martin Luther King was a pimp and a hoe.
If I could. Him and the Kennedys used to get in. They used to go party, and they used to party hard. And I'm not talking about just the, sleeping with prostitutes, but I'm talking about snorting cocaine and everything.
Man.
You can find in that book. But also, not too long ago, if I'm not mistaken, I don't remember, I think it was the CIA or the FBI, had released, some top secret stuff of them actually spying on Martin Luther King back in the day. And, they would spy on him, and he'd be out there, hanging around with certain crowds that you see, brothers and sisters in the world do today. I mean, out there doing cocaine, doing drugs, and, partying and having sex and orgies and all that stuff. All of that came out into the light, man. Yeah. That's not even like conspiracy no more. That's fact now.
Yeah, matter of fact, it came out when Barack Obama, Barack Obama, this is the part that blows my mind about all that. See, I was in the world when Barack Obama was president, like heavy. I believe in aliens and all that. I thought that one day it's gonna come out the aliens is real. You know what I mean? So here's the deal. There was a movement, a real powerful movement that gained a whole lot of traction about the disclosure movement. You ever heard of that?
No.
You had the disclosure movement. It was a massive movement of people. Matter of fact, it's the same group of people that was doing that. They was talking about doing a Naruto run into the Area 51.
Oh yeah. Okay, I recall that.
So they was trying to.
This wasn't too long ago at all either.
Yeah. So they before Barack Obama became president, they was real present during like presidential debates and the town hall meetings and things like that. They was very present, and one of the things that they was really pushing for was for the government to disclose the secret files about Area 51. So what Barack Obama did is he made a promise to the disclosure movement that when he becomes president, he was going to disclose those classified records. So, because there's things that the people need to know. All right, boom. The Barack Obama becomes president, and then he passes what's called the Disclosure Act. And during the Disclosure Act, what it did was it unsealed all of the old files that were determined classified.
Right.
So anything currently being investigated that was classified was not disclosed, but anything previously that been open and closed that was still classified are now open to the public. So what started happening was, because, you know, to get access to these files, I can't remember who you had to call, but you had to call somebody and request files on a particular situation. And they would give you a copy of it. Like, you would have to go through a little process, but you can get the whole transcript of all the files. Well, it was only inevitable. Eventually, somebody requested the files on Martin Luther King.
Right.
And guess what? They didn't never find no proof of no aliens. but they found recordings of Martin Luther King beating up white prostitutes, snorting cocaine. You understand? Matter of fact, I think he was with 2 prostitutes the night before he got killed.
So like, if I could,
Go
one
ahead.
of the most disgusting things I've heard of Martin Luther King doing is he would have a white prostitute and he'd have a black assistant in his own nation, and he would pay them to have sex with each other, like pay them to sit there and have sex with each other, do all kinds of foul and disgusting things with each other.
Right.
During a time where they were supposedly fighting for civil rights, or fighting for the rights or our people being treated right. This is what he had our sisters out there doing, man.
Right.
Like, he was a horrible man.
He's supposed to be leading black people,
Yeah.
and the whole time he played us like a fiddle. You understand? I'll never forget, there was a video that I think General Yohana brought it out, where he was sitting there telling all the people, like, it was before that Million Man March they had.
Right.
Where they had the Million Man March, where he was right the night before, he was telling people, he said, we gonna go down there and we not leaving until we get our check. And you know what? If I was following Martin Luther King, I'd be like, damn right, Martin. Yeah, we gonna get that check. And then he get up there on the podium, and when he get to speak, he don't even bring up the check. He talking about sitting down at the table with white women holding hands. You know what I mean? I bet if I was there, I'd have been like, what the? So like, I was like, what the hell? Like, man, I'm going home.
So like, if I could,
Go
and listen,
I'd have punched, I'd have hit Martin. He'd have had to square up with me after that. I'd have been like, boy, what the hell, boy? Boy, we done sat here and followed you for all this time. We done set up this Million Man March, and you gonna skip talking about the money, talking about the white girls?
Good.
Oh, hell no. Go
listen,
ahead.
that's no different from when Farrakhan
Yep.
did the Million Man March, and he was talking about justice or else.
Yeah, ain't
And
been
we
no
was all
else.
like, a lot of us was like, oh, what he about to do? What is the Nation of Islam about to do now? Like,
Nation of Islam finna square up.
Yeah, they about to square up.
Man.
And then, you come to find out that or else is just some political nonsense, religious nonsense. That ain't gonna do nothing. It's just a passive aggressive nothing.
Nothing.
And nothing ever happened, really.
Nothing.
Except that he came out and professed that he was a Christian.
Yeah. No, he came out professed he was a Scientologist.
Oh yeah, God.
Yeah.
Which is still Christian.
They came out, man, come on, man. Farrakhan. And see, here's the thing. I didn't have a lot of respect for Farrakhan already, but I lost all respect for Farrakhan after that. That man said justice to us. I'm like, boy, he gonna have to eat them words. Mm-hmm. That's like if you tell somebody, boy, I'm gonna punch you in the mouth when I see you, and then you see him and be like, oh, what's up, bro? Everything all right? Like, what happened to all that trash you was talking? You know what I mean? Like, these are the leaders, man. These are the people that we choose to lead us. But yet, the man is telling you, stop eating pork. Stop eating shrimp and lobster. Stop sleeping with white women. You understand? Instead of spending money with your enemy, why don't you spend money with your brother? You understand? You hate that brother. But you love the man that's going to sell you out for a check.
Right.
You understand? And I know we got off topic. We went over on time. You understand? I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the class. Where's it at? Here we go. All right. We're the ISUPK, started out on 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother or sister. When new brother or sister comes into the school, they're off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. They need transportation. The teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8-10 means tenth in the Hebrew, ma'ashera. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Get it to the treasury department of teacher. Priest fund. Free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. Is the Feast of Dedication. Is it the Feast of Tabernacles?
No, Feast of Dedication.
Oh, Feast of Dedication. So I'm tripping. It's the Feast of Dedication, which is the 12th day of the 9th month, by a space of 8 days, which is Wednesday, December the 9th, December 2020, for 8 days. Found in 1 Maccabees, chapter 4, verse 52 through 61, or other words called Hakan.